You've heard the whispers. You've seen the headlines. The penny, that humble copper coin, is on the chopping block. Banned from circulation? Pulled by 2026? It sounds wild, but it's happening. And while governments debate the future of small change, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Because buried in those old penny jars, those dusty change piles, are coins that look like trash, but are worth thousands. We're not talking about pristine, shiny museum pieces. We're talking about the ugly, the forgotten, the beat-up pennies that banks reject but collectors are fighting over. Some are so rare, finding just one could change your life. Today, we're revealing 7 such pennies, including a coin that sold for over $1 million and another that you can test with a magnet right now to see if it's worth $50,000. So grab your coin jar, your magnifying glass, and maybe even a magnet, because we're about to turn your loose change into serious cash. Don't let your fortune get swept away in the penny ban. All right, let's kick things off with a coin that could be hiding a $50,000 secret in plain sight. Take a look at this. It's a 1944D Lincoln Wheat Penny. Looks like any other old penny, right? Maybe a little dirty, a little scratched. You might see this and think just a common old coin worth a few cents. But what if I told you that this very penny, or one just like it, could be one of the rarest, most valuable coins on the planet? This is where the magnet test comes in. Normally, a 1944 penny is made of copper. It won't stick to a magnet. That's good to know. But if you have a 1944D penny and a magnet actually sticks to it, hold on to your hats. You just hit the jackpot. What you'd be holding in that incredibly rare instance is a 1944D steel wheat penny. Now, most collectors know about the 1943 steel pennies. That was during World War II when copper was desperately needed for ammunition. So, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of zinc-coated steel. But in 1944, they switched back to copper. However, a tiny handful of steel planches, those blank coin discs, accidentally got mixed in with the copper ones at the Denver Mint. The D Mint mark tells us it was minted in Denver. These accidental 1944D steel pennies are extraordinarily rare. We're talking about only 7 known examples in existence. Think about that for a second. More people have won the lottery than have found one of these. And here's the kicker, these aren't always pretty coins. They're often found decades later, corroded, dirty, looking anything but valuable. But their humble appearance does nothing to diminish their worth. A verified 1944D steel cent can fetch anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000, or even more depending on its condition. Even a heavily circulated, damaged one is a major discovery. So, the next time you're sifting through your pennies, keep an eye out for that 1944 date, look for the D Mint mark, and most importantly, perform the magnet test. It could be the easiest $50,000 you ever make. Don't let this ugly duckling slip through your fingers. This is the ultimate treasure hunt. Next up, we have a penny that almost looks too common to be true. A 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Billions of these were made. You'd probably toss it back into the change jar without a second thought. But this seemingly ordinary coin holds a secret so profound, so astronomically rare, that it's known as one of the most valuable errors in U.S. numismatic history. We're talking about a penny that has commanded over $1 million at auction. We're talking about the 1958 Doubled Die Obverse penny. A doubled die error happens during the minting process when the die, the stamp that imprints the design onto the coin, strikes the blank coin multiple times from slightly different angles. This causes the lettering and certain design elements to appear as if they've been printed twice, slightly offset, creating a ghostly, blurred, or shadowed effect. For the 1958 do, this doubling is most visible on the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust," and sometimes even the date. But here's why the 1958 Dido is so special, so valuable, and so incredibly elusive. As of today, only 3 examples of a genuine 1958 Doubled Die Obverse cent are officially known to exist. 3. That's it. It's an error that was almost perfectly corrected at the mint, making the few that escape truly legendary. One of these phenomenal coins sold at auction for an astounding $1.13 million. Imagine that. A penny, a single humble penny, found its way to a millionaire status. This is the ultimate ugly coin turns into a supermodel story. So, what does this mean for you? Every 1958 penny you encounter should be carefully inspected. Use a magnifying glass. Look at Liberty and the date. Are the letters thick? Do they look like they're overlapping or casting a shadow? Even a subtle hint of doubling could mean you've stumbled upon one of the greatest treasures in coin collecting. This is a game of extreme odds, but the payoff is astronomical. Don't overlook any 1958 penny. It might just be your million-dollar ticket. Let's travel back in time, over a century ago, to a penny that represents a true early American rarity, the 1914 Lincoln Wheat cent. Many of these early pennies are just beautiful pieces of history, but some, like this one, are true financial finds. The 1914 penny is generally considered a common date if it doesn't have a mint mark, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia. Those are often worth just $1 or $2 in good condition. But if your 1914 penny has one specific tiny detail, its value skyrockets. We're talking about the 1914 D Lincoln cent. The D mint mark, located just below the date on the reverse side of the coin, indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. In 1914, the Denver Mint produced far fewer pennies than Philadelphia or San Francisco. They minted just over 1.1 million of these D-marked coins, a tiny fraction compared to the Philadelphia production. This low mintage makes the 1914 D one of the crucial key dates in the entire Wheat Penny series. Because of its extreme scarcity, the 1914 D cent is highly sought after by collectors. Even in a very worn, circulated condition, the kind you might find in an old cigar box or dusty drawer, a 1914 D penny can easily be worth $200 to $300 or more. If you manage to find one in better condition, that value can climb into the thousands. This is a perfect example of an ugly coin that holds immense value because of its history and rarity, not its pristine appearance. It's not about how shiny it is. It's about that tiny letter. So, when you're looking through old pennies, slow down when you see those early dates. Every 1914 penny deserves a close inspection with a magnifying glass. Flip it over. Check under the date. Is there a faint D hiding there? If so, you've just found a significant piece of American history and a substantial boost to your coin collection's value. It's a hunt for a tiny letter that can lead to a big payoff. Here's another penny that perfectly embodies the idea of a hidden treasure. The 1917 Lincoln Wheat Penny. On its own, a common date. Millions were minted. But there's a specific, sought-after error that can transform this ordinary coin into a collector's dream, fetching hundreds, even thousands of dollars. We're talking about the 1917 Doubled Die Obverse. Just like with the rare 1958 Dido, this error occurred when the die struck the planchet twice, slightly misaligned, creating a distinct doubling. For the 1917 Dido, this effect is most prominent on the word Liberty across the top of the coin, and sometimes on the date itself. It's often described as a clear, distinct separation of the letters, almost like a shadow or a slight offset. This isn't just wear and tear, it's a legitimate, recognizable mint error. While not as astronomically rare as the 1958 D-Do, the 1917 Doubled Die Obverse is still a highly prized variety. Depending on its condition, even a circulated example can be worth anywhere from $200 to $500. In higher grades, uncirculated examples have sold for over $8,500. Imagine finding that kind of value in a coin that looks like it barely survived a century of circulation. It's a testament to the fact that even seemingly common years can hide extraordinary secrets. So, what's your mission? Get out your magnifying glass and scrutinize the word Liberty on any 1917 penny you find. Pay close attention to the serifs and the edges of the letters. Do they appear thicker or slightly split? Does it look like an optical illusion? If you spot that clear doubling, you've got a fantastic find on your hands. This is a subtle error with a significant reward, proving that sometimes the biggest treasures are hidden in the smallest details. Here's another example of a coin that defies its appearance. The 1924 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you're new to coin collecting, you might dismiss an old, worn 1924 penny as just, well, old. But just like our 1914D, the mint mark on this coin tells a critical story. This is another one of those ugly coins that, with a single tiny letter, transforms into a valuable treasure. If your 1924 penny has a D mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint, you've found a key date. The 1924 D Lincoln cent had a relatively low mintage for the era, with only 2.5 million coins produced. Compare that to the staggering 50 million from Philadelphia in the same year, and you start to understand its scarcity. This significant difference in mintage makes the 1924 D a sought-after rarity, even in less than perfect condition. Because of its scarcity, the 1924 D penny maintains a strong value among collectors. Even in a very worn condition, you can expect a 1924 D to be worth anywhere from $30 to $50. And if you happen to find one in a better grade, its value can quickly jump into the hundreds, with uncirculated examples regularly fetching over $1,000. This isn't a speculative error, it's a consistent value based on sheer rarity and demand from collectors eager to complete their sets. So, what's the lesson here? Don't let the age or the wear fool you. Every 1924 penny needs to be flipped over and inspected for that telltale D mint mark. It's a tiny detail that unlocks a significant increase in value. This is another perfect example of how the humble penny, especially an ugly one, can surprise you with a hidden fortune. Keep your eyes peeled for those Denver beauties. Now, here's a coin that most people wouldn't even give a second glance. The 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It's a common date, usually found in abundance. In fact, on its own, a 1939 penny is typically worth just a few cents. But just like some of our other surprise million-dollar finds, even the most common years can hide extraordinary errors. And the 1939 penny is a perfect example thanks to a very specific and very valuable doubled die error. We're talking about the 1939 doubled die reverse penny. Unlike our earlier examples where the doubling was on the obverse the front with Lincoln's portrait, this error is found on the reverse side of the coin, the tail side. Specifically, you need to look very closely at the words United States of America and the motto E pluribus unum. The doubling is often quite clear and distinct on the letters, making them appear thicker or shadowed. This error, while not as famous as some others, is highly sought after by collectors. A genuine 1939 double die reverse penny, even in circulated condition, can be worth anywhere from $100 to $500. In better grades, uncirculated examples have fetched over $1,500. This is a fantastic example of why you can never simply glance at a date and dismiss a coin. Every single penny, regardless of its perceived commonness, deserves a thorough inspection. It's the ultimate ugly coin, beautiful secret story, proving that even seemingly ordinary coins can hide substantial wealth. So, next time you come across a 1939 penny, don't just put it back. Take a moment. Flip it over. Use your magnifying glass and meticulously scan the lettering on the reverse. If you see that telltale doubling, that extra thickness or shadow on the words United States of America, then you've just turned a few cents into a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. This common-looking coin is a perfect reminder that the real treasures are often hidden in plain sight. Finally, we arrive at a coin that might seem like the most ordinary of the bunch. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Billions of these were minted across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. On its face, a 1946 penny is about as common as they come, usually only worth its copper content, a few cents at best. You might think no errors, no key dates, nothing special here. But that's exactly where many treasure hunters go wrong. This seemingly unremarkable coin serves as our ultimate reminder: never, ever overlook a wheat penny. While the 1946 isn't famous for a massive doubled die error or a super low mintage like some of our other stars today, it still holds potential. Every year of wheat pennies has its subtle variations, its minor die errors, and its condition-based premiums. For a 1946 penny, it's about checking for a pristine S mint mark from San Francisco or a clear D from Denver. In extremely high uncirculated grades, even a common date like a 1946 can fetch a decent $50 to $100, simply because collectors want perfect examples for their sets. That's a significant jump from a few cents. More importantly, the 1946 penny reminds us of the core principle of our penny band treasure hunt: every single wheat penny is worth inspecting. You're not just looking for the headline errors, you're looking for any deviation, any rarity, any flaw that makes it unique. Is there a subtle repunched mint mark? Is there a striking error like a lamination or a blank planche error? These can happen on any date and turn a common coin into a valuable find. It's about patience. It's about knowledge. It's about giving every old penny a chance. So when you encounter a 1946 or any other seemingly common wheat penny, don't let it pass by. Check for those mint marks. Look at the condition. And remember that the truly dedicated treasure hunter knows that even the most ugly and common coins can be hiding a surprising amount of value. The penny ban is coming, so now is the time to uncover those hidden fortunes before they're gone forever.